will be, all right. Hello, Angela.
Hello.
So here's your video. So I really liked the video and especially like the solutions that you gave. There wasn't anything that was confusing, but I do have more questions in regards to it. My perspective is from a point of the board. So I am not the person that you're directed towards. I'm not the director, but I am aiding in that. I'm going to be in a perspective where I review the project and see if we have extra funding and all of that. So I see that this hypothetical John will probably have a lot of questions, especially for the processes that you want to go through. It was very clear and concise, and I do think that it is a problem. And I really like the solutions that you include as well, especially because we want to be able to cross the department and be able to know the product so that questions or anything like even the media, if they have questions approaching for this particular product, that they'll be able to answer the questions without having to go back and forth. But in my perspective, I would like to know more information, especially because you included like a specific number. I don't recall it straight off the bat, but what, like exactly when you onboard new employees or even retrain current employees, like what type of, like what do you, like would this budget be coming out of our sales team or would it be something that is going to be, because we also need to consider in for the time that they have, right, as an employee, training and especially for that particular budget. So it's not just about the educational material and the time and the labor that will go into providing for the solution, but it would also be for budgeting for the employee as well. But I do feel like this is a good place to start, especially for the getting all the cross department on board.
Yep. Yeah, I can answer those questions easily. So this is actually coming out of the marketing budget, which was a question that we had in the beginning as well. Since this is more of a sales-led effort, marketing is going to be the one that conducts all the material, creates all the material. I actually just got approval for this on Friday, so I have everything needed to get it started. So yeah, so it's coming out of the marketing budget. I also, to your question about the timing, that is something that we are going through questioning right now. So what we envision is to have journeys. So certain product brands complement each other. So filling and capping go really well together. Labeling and end of line go really well together. So what our plan is that first, when we onboard sales, we have them go through the necessary training for ProMach 101 and 102, and they have to do that within 2 weeks of their hire. And then their specific journeys and the overview of every product brand, ProMach 200 to 244, they conduct that within 3 to 6 months of their onboard. So it is a little bit of a longer process, but it's what is necessary considering each of those modules for the product brands is going to be about 2 hours each. So they're going to need a lot of time, 2 hours times 44 just for the product brand. So we want to give them ample time to be able to review that.
What are some of the current like new hire information that you provide already from like the marketing team or the onboarding team?
So it all comes from HR right now, and it's a little discombobulated. They get a general handbook, and it depends on the general manager at each of the product brands. So that is one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to initiate this program, is because it's all over the place. I was in a sales meeting in San Diego a couple weeks ago, and a few of the sales people were like, "We don't know any of the brands. Like, we're brand new. We just got acquired," and that's like what you don't want to hear, right? So, what I had to tell them there is like, if you have a specific question, reach out to me. I have a lot of the material for each of the product brands, but our website is a good resource, and some of the veteran salespeople were like, yep, if we ever have a question, we just go onto the website. So it's a little bit of a mismatch right now.
Good. Do you think that new hires are like the only group that need this particular training, or do you think like people from the board would also benefit from it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We our initial, because we have 500 to 1,000 seats, we want to get the newer folks in as quickly as possible. But those veterans too still need training as well. You know, some of them have been there for 10 years and they might have a better understanding, but we want them to have at least access to the training. So yeah, that and of course the BUPs too, the business unit presidents and the C-suite. Like, of course, we want them to have access to that too.
That's cool. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a very good initiative, and I think I would love to see it rolled out. Budgeting wise, yes, that's another bridge to cross, but I think that's a good plan in terms of everything is clear, everything is laid out. Yeah, and I'm glad that it's all like through the process and approved. And
Yep,
yeah,
me
looking
too.
forward to presenting.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was, nothing was confusing, especially in your presentations, and I really liked that it was solving a specific solution, especially that it was aiming towards your director and everything like that. So I really enjoyed
Cool.
it. Very straightforward.
Thank you.
Very good.
Alrighty. So do you want me to go for yours now for the
Sure.
pitch? So I loved it. I thought it was such a great idea, and I would buy any of these in a heartbeat because I love my little dog. He's not so little, but I thought that it was very clear. The only question I had at the beginning was, who were you presenting to? I don't know if I just missed it or if that was not relayed.
So like I bet what I wanted to aim towards was looking into collaborators. So it's not specifically towards investors. That would be something later down the line. But right now, this particular business or just my small business is just at my home. It's something that I do on my own time in my own space. But to open it up to like a small storefront, I would like to rent a space with other collaborators. So other small businesses, other artists that want to collaborate with the space. We're looking for like compatibility, somebody that can also work together, especially if somebody wants custom pieces that they're looking for, that they will be able to come into the same shop and connect with other artists as well and create something that's more substantial for their needs. So it's not directly towards investors, but that was kind of like later down the line, I guess. But yeah, the way that my presentation was structured was to be more open and more like tapping into the peripheral like concept of the project than to be like showing numbers more hard and
Yeah.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got that, and I really appreciated it. I thought definitely was clear what you wanted to make and what you wanted to give to your customers. You definitely pulled at the heartstrings in the beginning, so my attention was immediately captured just because you had a picture of your dogs up and the dog that you lost. As well, and I'm so sorry to hear that. And as well as your time in the hospital too, you know, creating these objects that are of sentimental value is really important, and I think really great pitch on how it would affect somebody's life or why they would want that product. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it was clear what the product was, and you did show your expertise in how to create the objects. So was it resin that
Yeah,
or
it would be like the main resin as the base, and it would just be a keepsake piece or like a piece that you can put on your mantle or whatnot as a memorable piece instead of having to refer to like a scrapbook or something like that where it's
just paper?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a huge market for that, and I think that you would be very competitive in that market for sure. The finances I thought was clear, but to your point, you were more looking at the collaborative side. So this was more of like a step one project, which I think is a really good pitch for that space that you were looking for. Your ideas were organized very well. The vocal influence was definitely effective. Again, that story that you gave of your first pup pulled me in right away. And yeah, nonverbal elements were also affected. You made clear eye contact, and your posture was good, and definitely was a good pitch. I was committed to watching it to the end, so I definitely appreciate it.
Hey, yeah.
And I liked your deck too, like with the lots of pictures of the animals that kind of like added to what you were saying, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like because it's basically because I've done a couple projects. It's something that I just started, and so it's just like lifting off the floor. Um, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it's not like a huge, like it's not like a life-saving solution to a problem. Like similar to like some of the examples that he's shown. So it was something that I needed to not use like the more central like pathway of trying to persuade the listener. It was more like trying to do the feely, the mushy, the memories and all of that stuff. So like it's something that was harder, I think, in terms of like trying to find um meaningful information. But I'm glad that like it was interesting enough for
Yeah.
you to like listen through as like a collaborator. So yeah, it was
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and those are needed too. It's not always about like, whatever. Just same thing with mine. I feel like I wasn't sure if it was going to be well received considering it was internal, but you got it. So that makes me happy because a lot of things in my line of work is confusing to people just because not necessarily the sales, but just like the equipment that we're talking about and everything. So I took a little risk doing something internal, but it is something that I'm working on like right now. So I figured it would be timely and would be able to speak on it well enough as opposed to making up something.
I think that's really important because like even as a company, like even in my gym, like the my part-time gym, like some of like the people that like to answer questions or like pick up the phone, like some people ask like, oh, what's the price range? Like, can I extend my package? Can I like whatever? And like they don't know these answers and they would always have to be like, we'll get back to you or something like that. So like it's always like about communication. And I think like if marketing has like like in the C drive that everybody can access. It's like, here is the color scheme that you can use if you're doing presentations. You can use like this logo. You can't use this logo. Like, it's like, yeah,
Brand guidelines.
oh my gosh.
We
Yeah.
have at ProMach, my boss made a brand guideline book that is like 150 pages. It's just like it's spiral bound, and it's like the rules on how to communicate, rules on like what fonts, colors, what you can't do, like spacing in between different product brands. Like it's so wild, it's so in depth, and it was definitely but it's needed for a company as big as ours. You need something, even if it's like a small gym. You need something where you can have, and that's where the communication of marketing is really important, right? That a lot of people don't understand. It's like HR and marketing collaborate a lot, and it's like a natural fit for people. So yeah, I 100% agree.
It's, yeah, some companies don't even have that. So I think that's like really important.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yay.
Yay.
It was a great review. Yes, and we'll post this on the YouTube and post it on the forum. So I think that was a good analysis, I think, to go through.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you for watching it.
Thank you as well. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, I will talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Bye.